So welcome to Acceleration Network and welcome to State Park in Chaguanas. And we are here this morning to have a chat with the technical director of the Trinidad and Tobago Badminton Association and also the female champion in the sport, Solange Guzman. Solange, is always a pleasure. It's been a long time.
Yes.
I know the last time we talked was when you all had a major tournament here in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
Since then, I know that you have gone on. You have to be the doubles champion and the ladies champion. But before we get to that, let's go back a bit to the tournament. It was a successful tournament, a major first time in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
I'm sure that you all did your postmortems and things like that. After all was said and done, what was your view on the tournament? How successful it was?
Well, the tournament to me was really successful because when I suggested the idea to the association, I knew that somehow the tournament was going to bring some success, but it went beyond my thoughts this time. Why? Because we had players from all over the world. We had like 76 players from 20 countries, and to be the first time that Trinidad and Tobago hosts a badminton tournament, it is pretty impressive. We also had a cash prize for 5,000 US that was provided for the Pan Am Badminton Association. But apart from that, we also offered like world points for the world ranking. Therefore, players feel free to come here to Trinidad because there is our culture is rich with a lot of things that sometimes we may not realize, like for instance the beaches, the food, and so on. That is what I keep saying, that we need to take advantage of our location because people will like to come here. But apart from that, the level displayed on the tournament was really high because the tournament attracted the Pan Am champion, Solange Guerrero from Cuba, and then they had other players that participated in the Pan Am games, and we had the CSC champion as well. So overall, it was like a good incentive and a motivating factor to our local players here because they knew and they experienced that with appropriate training and with the right support, they can play badminton at that same level, and they can accomplish, their dreams on their chosen discipline. In this case, badminton. But when the tournament finished, we launched a survey to gather information for the next edition. We will know how best we can meet those needs and so on. And basically, what affected us the most was the venue, because I have been in all the venues here, and there is no one venue suitable for badminton because of the glare and the intake of air really affect the game. So we have to block it somehow, but it was not enough. It wasn't that bad, but it wasn't enough to the standard that we really wanted to display. But that was the only negative thing that we got. They congratulated us for the organization of the tournament. We didn't have any problem with the transportation or accommodation or with the schedule of play. Everything, we even offer like free food, free meals, and nobody has done that ever. I have been in several tournaments and no country have done that ever. So each day we give them something of our local cuisine, like roti, doubles, pilau, corn soup, and they were really excited, and it was really nice. And they now, we keep receiving email as to when we are going to deliver the next edition. That should be next year.
In Trinidad?
Yeah, in Trinidad. Because it's something that I told them that if it is successful this year, we should continue doing it like every year because it's good for the sport, but most of all, it's good for the country.
Yeah.
Because, most of these players, they will have an idea where Trinidad is located and all the benefits that they can gain by coming here. And we have been thinking about to have training camps as well. You know that I did like the international training camp between Cuba and Trinidad.
Cuba,
So we are looking to have something like that as well. Especially with my view is like to help in the development of badminton within the Caribbean islands like Jamaica, Barbados, Suriname, and so on. So I'm thinking about to have something like that where these players will get benefit. And apart from that, if we come together, we can attract the eyes of the major sponsors, because for several years we have been trying to get a sponsorship for badminton, like to get the rackets and clothing and so on. and we have been unsuccessful. Only two players in the country have been lucky to get that. One is Nikola Bonkowski, because he based in Canada.
Yeah.
And myself, because I have a background from Cuba. So, but to get a sponsorship for our local player here is difficult, because the sponsors, they are not seeing Trinidad as a country that they can make a profit. And realistically, we do not compete that much, so their product will not get that exposure that they need. That is why we need to come together as, you know, the community island from the Caribbean, like have tournaments like this one, have training camps and so on, so they will know that how their product will be, you know, not only one particular island but across the board. Apart from that, well, we continue with the preparation towards Caravaco. Caravaco was in August, and the players were really motivated, but just again, you know, we were hit with a lot of financial issues. Every time we keep saying that, yes, you need to get a sponsorship from the private sector, but sometimes we fail to realize that it's not only one sport trying to get a sponsorship. And badminton, unfortunately, is not one of those sports that are
more
leading.
recognized. You know,
Right. Although badminton is inside the Ministry of Education school curriculum, therefore, all children from secondary school, they must play badminton in order to get their CC exam access done. So, but realistically, when we are going to approach a sponsor to get money, it's kind of difficult, because, you know, we are not like cricket or football or track and field. Yet, if you are going to analyze it, it's easier to sponsor a small badminton team than the whole football team, because why? In badminton, with 4 athletes, you can get up to 5 medals. So, but badminton as well is one of those sports that you really need to keep competing, because it's a sport that you really need to be on the court, and you really need to be dedicated to it, because the only way to get there is through training and through competition. Training, there is only so much that you can do on training, but eventually you will need to get
much practice.
Yes, the court experience, because you need to know how to react to the different game strategies. You need to know how you are going to approach your opponents, because, you know, sport is changing every day, and we really need to pay attention to what is happening around the world. And without the appropriate financial support, it's only so much that you can do.
Well, let's talk a bit about you, because I know that you still have your eyes set on
The Olympics.
The Olympics,
Yes.
right? You had so much to do before, so I know that you took a kind of break from the sport, but you went to the Caribbean Championships, right?
Yes.
Let's take me back to that. From there to presently, what is happening? How is your preparation, and what have you set? Because the Olympics is next year, right? 2016?
Yes.
Right. How are you preparing yourself from today onwards to 2016?
Well, my dream has always been to go to the Olympics, but over the years here, it had changed slightly, like a little bit, because as I said previously, to make the Olympics is not something that you can dream about and say, well, I will get there for sure, especially if you do not have the support needed to get there. For instance, in badminton, there is not qualifying competition. You have to qualify to the Olympics through a world ranking, and the only way to attain that is to participate in international competition. I'm talking about like 10 to 13 competitions per year. Now, in my case, I have several limitations, because I am not a citizen, therefore I have no access to the elite funding, and I am in the process of becoming a resident. Therefore, I can participate in open competitions, but I cannot participate in CSE Games, Pan Am Games, or World Championships, or Olympics, because I am not a citizen. But that didn't prevent me to do what I love most, because I am not seeing the sport as something only for me. That will be, to me, like selfish. I'm seeing the sport as a venue to help others to develop. Maybe I cannot make it as an athlete, but I can make it as a coach, right? Okay. That is the way I'm seeing it.
And you can help others.
Yes. So my experiences is like, what I'm getting from it is like, from my position of technical director, I'm trying to do the best I can, and trying to ensure that other players with potential, they can aim to qualify for 2020 or 2024, because it is possible. The only thing that we need is like someone willing to do the hard work, because it's not something that you can say, okay, I'm going to do this now and then tomorrow, well, I will see. You really need to have a plan. You really have to have a long vision, and you really need to be on top of things.
And you need to be committed.
And you really need to be committed. And it is slightly a culture problem as well, but we need to understand that we have people sometimes afraid of changes, and when you want to implement something new, you really have to demonstrate that how that is going to benefit them, not only them but the sport as a whole. And doing that way, you have a better chance to to accomplish your dream, in this case to make the Olympics and be successful. And sometimes we say, well, I might go to Olympics but I may not be able to medal, but being in the Olympics is a major achievement.
Yeah, because when you go to the Olympics, you are one of the fortunate ones, because there are hundreds others who have tried and didn't qualify.
Never qualified. Yes, and it is something that every time I go to an interview, I speak about it, that we really need to start planning ahead, because we have a lot of potential in this country. We have a lot of potential. We have a lot of equipment. Now, we may have human resources, but we need more, and we need international help as well. And all of us, we have to come together, and we have to have great effort to uphold the structure. Other than that, one or two persons will not make it, because it's not something that can be achieved by one person alone. So we, as a sport lovers, we have to come together, share our opinions, our views, and find out what is best to the development of each discipline.
So what are your plans really from now onwards to the Olympics? What about your training schedule, your tournaments? How do you see your chances are?
Well, I still thinking that I have a good chance to make the Olympics. For 2016, I will be out of it, because again, I am not a citizen.
Oh,
and
so you have some more time in which to
yes.
Yes.
Even though if I get my citizenship on time, I may not be able to qualify, because the qualification ends on May.
Okay.
So right now my world ranking is like around 200 or so. So in badminton, it's only the first 70 in the world qualified to the Olympics.
First 70?
Yes.
Okay, so
but each country they have like a certain number allotted. For instance, China, they have like 4, because China is the leading country in the world. But the rest of the countries like 2, 1, 2, 1, and so on.
Okay.
And well, I don't think that badminton, maybe Nicholas Bolkowski, he was almost there. He may be able to qualify. Why? Because, as I say, he does not base here in Trinidad. He's based in Canada, so and he competes.
Greater opportunities.
Yes, between 10 to 13 competition every year, and he have been doing that for years now. That is why, from us, he may be the best chance that we have right now. In terms of continue delivering myself towards the development of the sport, that is what I intend to do. Continue trying to work with what we have, continue getting my ideas and my belief out there, because I believe that with the right attitude and with the desire, sport here in Trinidad can change. Yeah, it is possible, but there is others that needs to believe it and really need to work towards it.
I'm going to be asking you a difficult question. If it means giving up your career as a badminton player in order to effectively run the association as a technical director and get the younger players, to reach their potential, would you be willing to do that?
Yes, because I already did it.
Okay.
When I suggested the idea for the tournament in May, I stopped training automatically, because I knew it was going to get busy, and I knew that the association needed my full, attention and so on. And I feel a lot of pressure when I see that someone is, achieving their dreams. Is something that there is no words for me that I could describe that sensation that I have inside when I see one of my players medaling or going out there and giving the best of them, because they love the sport and they love what they do. But at the end of the day, it's also sad, because, he has potential. I know that he can make it, but unfortunately, our system is not structured well enough to ensure that this person, like over the years, will be in the Olympics. So, to me, I know what it is to win international competition. I have like over than 25 gold medals in international competition. I have participated in a lot of international and local competition. So I know what it is to be there. I know what it is to win a competition. I know what it is to come from the bottom and climb the ladder step by step. And sometimes you will find people that will not believe in what you say. Sometimes people will take you for granted. Sometimes people will take your kindness for weakness, and it is not like that. I continue here because I believe that with the right attitude and with the correct efforts and with proper management, the sport can make a difference here in Trinidad. Not only badminton, but all the sports.
How difficult do you see your role as technical director, and in the sense of really getting the sport, from where it is to where you will want to see it when maybe your term ends, and you have to pass on to somebody else,
Yes. Well, in terms of the administration part, it's not difficult to me because I have been doing this for a while and I really love it. But I have been faced with several questions of, like, after we come back from a tournament, most of the players, especially those who medal, they are excited and they say, well, what will be our next competition? And right there I go into a blank space because I can't tell you when will be the next competition because we do not have the financial support. Yes, I have done several plans. I have chosen many international competitions. I have done everything that I could, to make that avenue for them. But truly and honestly, finances is very important, and it is as important as to transportation, nutrition. I have some players from Grandi that sometimes they cannot come training because they do not have their own vehicle. Sometimes they do not have enough money to travel down to Shawanas and so on. Sometimes they do not have rackets. I have players that they had gone to compete with just one racket. You are stream burst in the middle of the game, then you have to borrow a racket from another player. And it should not be like that. And I'm tired to say this. Cuba do not have the amount of money that Trinidad have. It's not a secret that the economy in Trinidad is solid, right? But there is something that, as I said, we really need to have a better understanding of the sport. We really need to have like a long-term plan and vision. I'm talking about like 10 years or so, and we really need to start making smaller steps toward the accomplishment of those goals. Else, we will always be on the same spot. This is an easy example for you. You know that the Olympics is around the corner. Have you heard something about the Olympics? Do you know which athlete is like qualified already or is almost there, close to the qualification to make the Olympics? We do not know.
Yeah.
So we will know that athlete when that athlete reaches to the Olympic, and then if he medal, which was the case of Kishon Wilcock. Nobody knew about Kishon Wilcock until he medal. So we really need to start being more proactive instead of being
But
reactive.
isn't that the role of the association to highlight or to make the players who have great potential be known to the wider public?
Yeah, the association should do that as well. But if you do not have money to send your players to compete anywhere, of course you will not have any money to do advertising for your players, to do banner for your players and so on. And I don't think that it is something that should be done only from the association. I think that the Olympic Committee, the Ministry of Sport, the sport company, the NGVs and all the stakeholders, they should come together and highlight those athletes. It will help them, to get better sponsorship, foreign sponsorship. It would help them to get more local sponsorship, and it will help the society as a whole. Why? Because you will have a lot of younger players that will want to say, okay, I'm going to join, let's say, like football, because tomorrow I know that I can be like this person. So they need to understand that there is something there for them. That if you have a dream like to make the Olympics someday, you will have to follow a star. And then the only way to know that the star is we as a people, as a country, we promote our athletes, because it's only so much athletes that you know. There is like Kishon Wilcock, Cleopatra Vorel, Joel from swimming, the Philip from cycling, and a few others, not even 10. So that is all what we know, and I know that there is a lot of athletes with talent from other sports that they are willing and they have the best of intention, and they feel pride of representing the red, black, and white. But unfortunately, there is nobody there for them. And eventually, you know that you're not getting any benefit from the sport, and then you will find another way to generate some revenue.
Yes. Now, going back to the association, now I know that you all don't have much tournaments, right? But how do you all maintain or make sure that the top players who represent the country always stays fit? Because at any moment you can hear about a tournament, and you don't want to pick a team that is going out there that may be not match ready. So do you all have like a regular training stints, you know, coaching stints? I know that sometime back when I spoke to you, you know, you were trying to engage something with the schools.
Yes.
Right? What is happening with that?
What we normally do is like we keep the national players training throughout the years. Sometimes we have vacation, like for instance, we just came back from Caravaco, and then we played in solo tournament, which was in September. So right now the players are not training because they were exposed to several training sessions. And on top of that, we haven't identified any major tournament that we will say, okay, I'm going to send like 4 or 5 persons to this competition. So what we do now is like when we are sure that we have the financial support to send a team to one competition, we're trying to train them like 3 months ahead or so. However, we insist to their club coaches to continue with their preparation for them within their clubs, right? And because even though when we call the national team, the most that we have gotten is like 3 training sessions per week of 2 hours. So overall, we are part-time athletes. And still, when we go to international competition, we see that sometimes we lose, but we are so close to the victory. Sometimes we just lose a match based on experience. The opponent realizes that realistically he cannot beat you, so he's going to walk more around the court, try to change the shuttle more often. So you are not psychologically prepared to deal with that situation. So he will get you out of your game and he will beat you for that. And the only way to attain that is participating in more international competition. And that is basically it. But we do try to keep our athletes fit. In my case, I was coaching the senior team. In the beginning of each preparation, I run a fitness test. It will give me an idea how far in reality they are and how I will organize my training program and so on.
Niem Mohammed, he seems to be pretty active, you know, and he is abroad a lot most of the time when I check his Facebook page. Is he the only one who is trying to make it on his own outside there by going to tournaments single-handedly?
Yeah, well, right now, yes. Right now we have this situation with Naim. He sent an email to his club stating that because he found out about that scholarship in Malaysia. And I gave approval. He asked me for 2 months, so he's supposed to return on the September 20th.
Oh, so he's on a short-term scholarship, something?
Yes.
Okay.
But then I haven't received nothing officially from them or from his club, but I heard that he intends to continue for another 3 months in there. And on that aspect, well, I am in fully support of
But he's funding himself.
But he's funding himself, right? So we didn't send him there as we say, like, okay, we got the scholarship with them. So he went outside and then he make a contact with Malaysia and then he organized his business. But
now, before we wrap up, is there anything you would like to share with Trinidad and Tobago concerning the sport of badminton and your ideas? And appeal to the viewing public, you know, for some support in which areas?
Yeah, sure. Badminton is one of those sports that will help you to develop all round of physical skills. It's a sport that you can play for life since you are 5 years old until you are 60. It's an affordable sport because you can buy a racket like for around 500 TT. That is one of the expensive rackets, and that racket can last for years, right? And it's a sport that can be played indoor and outdoor. And we really have a lot of players here with potential, younger players, like on the 11 and on the 13. And I would really would like that if we get the appropriate support, we will have a system in place to ensure that these players can participate tomorrow in CSC game, Pan Am game, and find an avenue, you know, to reach to the Olympics. But that is what I'm appealing to you all, that in some way you can help us, not only financially, but with clothing and with nutrition, you know, and transportation, because, you know, sport, to make an athlete is a bunch of little things that you have to put in place in order to make an athlete and furthermore an Olympian.
Well, Solange, it was, as always, a pleasure chatting with you. Let me wish you all the best in your role as technical director and on your quest to the 2020 Olympics. As you said, even if it doesn't happen, you'll be contented because you have achieved a lot, and then you are still going to achieve by promoting the sport and helping the younger athletes to rise up. So again, thank you very much and all the best, and you need to count on us at any time because we are always here to support you.
Thank you very much.
Well, there you heard it from Solange Guzman, the technical director of the Trinidad and Tobago Badminton Association, and also the ladies and doubles champion in the sport, telling us about her plans and what she would like to accomplish. But she has accomplished a lot already. So viewers, if there are any business people out there who want to contribute to the sport, you can contact Solange, you can contact us at Act25, and we will pass the message on to her. But badminton is a sport that attracts a lot of young people, and you know that there is so much negativity around young people. And when the young people tend to turn to something that is positive and they need your support, the support doesn't come. So we are appealing to you to help the Badminton Association and more so help the young ones. So as we leave you from the Safe Park in Chaguanas, we want to thank you for spending this time with us, and we hope that you will join us at some other venue where we highlight some other topic in sport.